All right, welcome to Yin Yang Yoga. Glasses are off, and let's explore the realm of inner thighs and back today. Inner thighs and back. So already in Vajrasana, I've chosen a low block setting. It's a little uncomfortable, so I'm going to bring a second block on. So listen to your body tonight. Work in the range of motion that is sensible for your body and your context. Your context may have been you've just been on a 10-mile walk and your legs are heavy, or a bicycle ride, or you've just woken up. So what is the context for your practice? Maybe it spreads out over the last week or month. There's been any injuries, any repetitive movements. What would it take to make sure your body is supported tonight? Let the sit bones find balance, left and right, forward and backward. Slight forward tilt in the pelvis, and come into Vajrasana, kneeling pose, thunderbolt pose. Shoulders roll back and down, palms face up. Elbows close to the ribs. Let the eyes close. Inner eyes open. And put on your Somanaut suits and let's dive into the body. Explore the body. Like a deep sea diver, look for any areas of interest, curiosity, tightness. And let each new breath deepen. And allow the breath to be a vessel for your attention. So if your attention is on the inner thighs, breathe into the inner thighs to amplify your attention. And imagine the breath in is bringing nourishment to the thighs. And as you exhale, let any tension or toxins, any pain, ease away from that area, being carried out of the body through the breath. So even though we're imagining this function of the breath, that visualization can be a very powerful way to amplify attention at this point into the inner thighs. And notice on that right inner thigh, the right inner kneecap, all the way into the right femur head, the top of the inner thigh. Breathe into that whole area. And then over to the left inner kneecap, all the way up into the inner left hip. Feel that whole inner left thigh. And then if you can, allow an extended line from the kneecap to the inner thigh to come up under the buttocks, the glutes, into the low back. And as you breathe in, feel the low back expand. So feel the breath in 3 dimensions. Let the next breath be a little deeper and feel that awareness move up into the mid-back. Shoulder blades, upper back, into the back of the neck, all the way up over the back of the skull, feeling that whole posterior sheet all the way over into the forehead, over the top of the skull, to the eyebrows, and just for tonight's session, down over the eyelids, into the eyelashes. Feel that like a cloak from the eyelashes all the way back over the skull, down through the back body, down to the knees. And then release, come forward off your block, find a blanket or a towel to sit on the edge of that blanket or towel so the hips can, the pelvis can tilt forward, and you can have your legs extended into a nice wide V shape. And I'm going to recommend, if you have a bolster, that you could rest your head on the bolster like this, and over time control the base of the bolster, moving it further away as the head relaxes. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you can use a couple of blocks like this, and the blocks can be lowered over time as the adductors start to open up and the back body starts to release. So it's nice to have the head supported as much as you can. If you cannot support the head with the blocks, you could rest your elbows on the blocks and rest your head on your thumbs or your hands. So there's different ways to come into this dragonfly pose. And notice the inner thighs in this shape. And using the meditation on breath tonight in a little different way from how we normally do it in Yin Yoga, but using it as a vessel to direct our attention into the sensations of the inner thighs. In fact, we'll do a little pranayama exercise here to help the breath direct. So that will require having your right hand be able to access your nose, and take the thumb and block the right nostril. So you're breathing in and out of the left nostril. And as you're breathing in and out of the left nostril, direct your attention to the left adductor, the left inner thigh. From kneecap to groin. The next time you inhale through the left nostril, switch, gently block the left nostril with the tip of the ring finger and breathing in and out of the right nostril only. Focusing on the right inner thigh. And then we're going to alternate from nostril to nostril in the conventional Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. So you inhale right nostril, switch, exhale left nostril, focus on left inner thigh, inhale left, switch, exhale right, focus on right thigh as you breathe out and in on that right nostril. Switch, out and in, left nostril, focus on left inner thigh. Toes curled back, drive out through the heel bones. Try to keep the pranayama fluid without losing a beat. And having that extra attention on the thigh corresponding to the nostril that you're breathing out and in. On the next exhale through the left nostril, release the pranayama and bring the hands back. Bring the head back up, lean back into the hands for a moment, and just feel a release on that internal opening of the thighs. Bend the right knee and bring the right foot into that extended left thigh. So the left thigh is still angled out to the left. And we'll use our strap here to grab hold of the left foot. And hinge forward. So once again, if the sit bones have come off your blanket or towel, I'm going to recommend you sit right on the edge so you have that nice forward tilt. And scoop the flesh from the left side of the belly out of the way so you can feel more contact with your left thigh. And start to walk each hand down towards that left foot. And notice as the left hand goes closer to the foot, the sensations that will bring. And then the right hand. So the right hand is going to create sensations in that deep right side of the low back, which is an important part of the back to release. Now we're looking for delicious discomfort here. And you can choose to have the head dropped, rounding the back, or keep the chin away from the chest, keeping the back a little straighter. You can fluctuate between those two, exploring how that affects the back when you drop the chin versus lift the chin. So you can micromanage the back, the sensations, by the tilt of the chin, of the head. If you find your hands are well to the end of the foot and they could extend further, you can take a block or two at the end of the foot and wrap your hands around the block. So coming into deep lengthening here in the hamstring, calf muscle, low back. Coming back to our pranayama tonight, is to visualize the breath moving into that inner left thigh in this position, and the low back, particularly on the right side. Learning to focus on sensation and breath is as important as any aspect of our yoga. Mental focus, focusing the mind, in the end is more important than the perfection of any asana, any shape. Keeping the mind with the body, with the breath. Will ultimately liberate us from so much preoccupation with things we'd rather not be occupied with. Gently walk the hands back. Take your time coming back. That's a deep stretch. Bring your hands back gently and take some time here. Notice how that feels. Notice the lingering sensations. Start to gently pull the shoulders back, shoulder blades squeeze, arching the back slowly, counteracting all that forward flexion. Feeling the front of the shoulders stretch, the pectoral muscle, the chest. And then come, grab that left knee. Let's assist that left knee up. Give it a little rub. Nice job. Left leg. All right, let's come to the other side. Extend right. Tuck that left foot in. Once again, you might have to adjust the tilt of the pelvis. If you have a lot of extension, you might have a block handy. I've seen some people have the block lengthways with their arms wrapped around it, so I'm not surprised if any of you do. Let's scoop the flesh away from the right side of the belly. Strap up the foot if you have a strap. Nice to start with a strap, not too much sensation. Drive out through the heel bone. Explore your head. And I didn't go into this too much on the other side, if at all. Be conscious of your shoulders. I'd like you to try as much as you can to keep a relaxed sense in the shoulders. So you don't want to be hunching the shoulders up around the ears to get that extra length. You want the shoulders to be very soft in this shape. Not to compromise, but simply to allow the focus to come into the posterior chain of that right leg, the hamstring, the calf muscle, and the inner thigh, because we have this angled out. Now you can work the head tilt up and down, deciding what works best on this side. And remembering that left hand is going to be a big part of this opening, creating that deep low back left side lengthening. And with the nodding of the head, you might find you feel some relief in the back of the neck as you drop the chin. Keeping that toes of that right foot flexed back is nice. Coming to your pranayama again, visualizing the pranayama coming into particularly the right leg, right low back, in 3 dimensions. So obviously you feel the belly expand, but feel the back ribs expand, the back of the heart expand, the side ribs expand, and then visualize that air coming down into the full cylinder of that right thigh, nourishing it, exhaling, letting the tension out of that leg. Five more breaths here. As you release organically, gently, slowly. So there's no sharp recoil from the body. Chest open, maybe lift the gaze up, shoulder blades squeeze. So that squeezing of the shoulder blades, super important part of our release in the mid-back, strengthening those shoulder blades. Great for posture, great as an antidote for our forward flexing, our textasana. And slowly release. Whew. And bend that knee. And let's come on to the belly now. Head at the top of the mat so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to do a little core work here before we go further. Come into crocodile pose for a moment, resting the forehead on your stacked hands. Bring the elbows up a little bit to relax. And now you should feel quite some sensation in the lower back, because this is a very minuscule back bend. The head is slightly elevated, so the lower back after those deep forward bends are going to feel something. Let the breath be unforced, undirected. Just allow it to flow. Now walk the knees about hip-width distance apart. Bring the elbows under the thighs close enough so that the hands can reach the upper arms. And curl the toes. We're going to come up into low plank here. And as you engage low plank, start to tuck the tailbone. So feel your glutes squeeze. Lift the knees up and keep tucking the tailbone so you feel almost like a rounding in the upper back. Push back through the heels and tuck the tailbone. So feel those two directions. Your abdominals will be like rock hard here as they support that shape. Glutes are squeezed, abdominals are engaged, tailbone tucked, push back through the heels, head and shoulders as relaxed as you can. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on down. If you have a blanket or a bolster, bring it to the left side of your mat and bring your knee and ankle onto the bolster or blanket. The higher your knee and ankle are off the ground, the more hip opening you're going to get, the more rotation on that inner left thigh. If you can, come into goalpost arms, resting the head turned towards the bent knee. Half frog pose. Once again, we're in a back bend. You should be feeling sensations in the low back, perhaps. I definitely am. If you feel that that left knee is elevated too much sensation, lower it down to floor level. Check in with your neck. Neck okay, shoulders okay. And for those who've done this before, you can take your right hand back onto your low back if you like. Resting the back of the hand into the low back, letting the right shoulder relax. If your right hand is slipping off the low back, what I like to do is tuck the hand into the waistline of the pants, and that just holds it in place. You can come in and out of this position at any time. If you want to remove that hand and come back to goalpost arms or stack the hands under the forehead, you can. Try bringing the left hand back if that's available. Both hands behind the back. Both shoulders relaxing deeply. Notice if this brings relief to the low back. Right hip flexors getting a triple extension here, hip flexor, knee and ankle joint. So that right hip flexor should be enjoying this. Left inner thigh, rotated out. Getting lots of attention there today. Now, because your left nostril is above the right nostril, imagine you're breathing in through the left nostril only and into that left thigh. Imagine all the air coming into the left side of the body now. The left side of the face. The left side of the neck and shoulders. The left shoulder blade and rib cage. The left hip. Feel that left side of the body right down to the foot. Fill with air. And stay here for 3 more breaths. On that third exhale, release the hands, stack the hands under the forehead. If you can, keep the left knee out. Keep it out. If you need to bring it down at all, you can. Relax your elbows. And gently roll from temple to temple. The following moves are optional depending on how your hip, your left hip and your low back feel. You can stay where you are. You can bring the left knee back anytime you want. Otherwise, come onto your elbows. Prop up under the elbows. Close enough so that the hands can reach the upper arms. Drop the hands. Roll the shoulders back as if they're relaxing. So you feel the weight bear down through the elbow joint. Relax your head. If the elbow is finding too much pressure here, you could pad it with a blanket or a towel. All right, we're going to go one more level if you'd like to. Bring the elbows out about 1/2 inch and then hands out to the edges of your mat. Thumbs point forward, fingers splay out to the side. And carefully, very cautiously, when the hip is elevated like this, straighten the arms. And notice how that feels. A lot of sensation here in the left thigh, right hip flexor, low back. Exhale, release, bring the elbow down. Release the left knee back to your mat. Stack the hands. Rest the head. And be aware of any lingering sensations. You might feel a contrast between the left thigh and the right thigh. Let's come to the other side, so you can take the blanket or bolster to the other side, or you can rotate your body depending on what works for you. Try the other side before dropping the head. Make sure it's appropriate. It's a different hip. Once it feels okay, you can come into goalpost arms. Noticing how that feels in the neck. The signs that this is appropriate include a tranquil, rhythmic breath, the right nostril is the portal for the right side of the body. Start to become right body minded. The right nostril filling up the right side of the body, the face, neck, shoulders, shoulder, arm, ribs, right side, hip, thigh, knee, ankle, and toes. So using your pranayama, directing it with your attention. So pranayama amplifies attention, and attention directs the breath. Left leg in triple extension, hip, knee, ankle. Explore left hand on low back if that feels interesting. Relaxed left shoulder. Notice how the low back responds to that weight. If you're lucky, you might have a little kitten or a dog rest on your low back, and that can feel nice. You can use a sandbag. And right arm can join left arm, noticing how that is on the shoulders and neck. Right nostril, right side of the body, all open. 360 degrees, not just the front of the body. Feel the back of the body. So the next 5 to 10 breaths, stay conscious of the right side of the body. The inhale filling in all dimensions. And the exhale letting the right side of the body go limp. So you feel these two rhythms, inhaling expansion, exhaling relaxation and softening. Gently unwind the hands, stack the hands under the forehead. Relax the elbows. Check in with that right thigh, that it's still okay. Roll the head from temple to temple. And then for the rest, come into these optional movements as you like. Elbows under shoulders. Relax the shoulders, shoulder blades relaxed, back of the neck lengthens, chin drops, neck relaxes. Option to come up into seal. Elbows out a little wider, hands to the edges of the mat. Cautiously extend the arms. Release when you're ready. Stacking the hands and returning the right thigh to the mat. Resting the head. Feeling the lingering sensations in that right thigh. And then rolling onto one side into Cleopatra pose where you could see me. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, head somewhat lined up. Your head can come down onto your bicep if that feels less stressful for the neck, or you can prop it up. Let's bend the knees. And let's keep the head down for now. We're simply going to do clamshells, opening that top knee up and then closing it down. Let's add that top hand to press against the opening and open nice and slowly on the count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring the hand to the inner thigh, push against the inner thigh, feel that top shoulder come away from the ear so there's a nice neck traction, and push down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back on top, lift up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inside thigh, resist. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that top shoulder away from the ear so you get a nice neck traction here as well. One more time. Clamshell up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. 4, 3, 2, and relax. Relax into fetal pose. Let's take that right shoulder on a journey. Bring that right hand out in front of the chest, parallel to the ground, palm face down. And push the hand away, letting the shoulder blade come away from the spine. So the shoulder blade is coming away from the spine and pushing the hand out away from you. So the movement originates in the shoulder blade, not the hand. Let the shoulder blade push that hand out fully, keeping that hand nice and rigid. Lower it down towards the feet. Point it towards the feet, keep the fingers spread out. Now use the shoulder to push the hand towards the feet more, so you're not reaching with the hand, shoulder blades pushing the hand away. Now start to bring it behind you. Bring it behind you and feel your top shoulder come back. Allow yourself to fall back onto that top shoulder and bring that hand out behind you, palm face up. Now have the shoulder push the hand further out to 3 o'clock position. Or 9 o'clock, I don't know, whatever hemisphere you're in, it's going to be something. And then bring it up over the head. When it's in the 12 o'clock position over the head, have the shoulder push the hand further out. So the shoulder's coming all the way out to push that hand further away. And then back to your 3 o'clock position in front of the chest. And then relax it on the ridge of the body. All right, other side. Other side. Clamshells with resistance. Open up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inside, resist coming down. 4, 3, shoulder away from the ear. 2, 1, down. Lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resist down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. 3, 4, 5. Down. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Arm is going to go around the world. So start with that hand in front of you, parallel to the ground. Let the shoulder blade push it away from the chest, not reaching with the hand, but pushing it out from the shoulder blade. So really opening up that mid-back area. Down towards the feet. Keep it extended. Come down to 6 o'clock. Now have the shoulder push the hand down. So the shoulder comes away from the ear. Big traction here. A little more. Now it starts to come behind your back towards the 9 o'clock position. For half the journey, the palm is down, and then it flips towards the ceiling and you roll onto that back shoulder. And then the shoulder pushes it out towards that 9 o'clock position further and further and further. So this shoulder mobility is a great way to help release the back, mid-back. Let's bring it up above the head. 12 o'clock. Then the shoulder pushes that hand out, 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 out. Back to 3 o'clock. And back to the side body. And if you're comfortable, stay in fetal pose and relax. If you've had enough of fetal pose, come onto your back. Just noticing how the body feels at the end of practice. In particular, the thighs and the back and the shoulders now. And let your attention come to your nostrils and notice, does one nostril feel more open? Notice why you chose that nostril. Notice the felt sensation in each nostril and the sinuses on that side of the face. And with that same sensitive attention, the next time you breathe in, let the breath fill the eyelashes. Nourish the eyelashes. And notice what it's like to have nourished eyelashes, how it feels. On the next exhale, you can gently press up to a comfortable seat. Choosing whatever seated position feels natural. Feel your posture. I always marvel at how Yin Yoga leaves my posture feeling. Thank you for joining me tonight. Namaste.